I just helped this player, and this player complete transform their gameplay in Madden 26 by simply implementing 5 secret tricks to their game. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the same 5 tips for free, and I guarantee if you actually take heed to them, you'll see your win rate increase by over 93%. You're not going to miss out on any of the tips I break down today, so let's jump right into it. The first tip I want to break down is going to be a way to start getting instant sacks in the quarterback every single play. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so what we're going to be talking about here is going to be the user lock feature, alright? So we're going to come into an overload blitz here like Sam Blitz 3 from my Vikings defensive ebook, and what we're going to do is find the overload side, which here in this case it's already kind of set for us. It's going to be on the left side, so I'm going to shift my defensive line to the left, and then I'm going to press deep, or I'm actually going to drop this man into a zone because we only need 4 guys here for this, blitz, but then I'm going to press D-pad up, right trigger, and left stick down to make sure that I'm actually able to get the attention of the center and not allow him to slide over to the left side of the offensive line here and be able to block this blitz. So again, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, boom, take a snap, get his attention. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes he gets confused and actually lets you come in free, which is honestly even better for you, obviously, to be able to walk in the backfield. Like you see how I'm standing right over him. Typically, he's going to block you, but when he doesn't, when he chooses to let you walk in the backfield completely untouched, you just go get the quarterback. Also, you see how, though, he let this guy come in free, too. So it's like we really had 2 guys there. Even if they blocked their running back, they wouldn't have been able to obviously block our blitz. But another thing I want to point out here is just specifically with this defense, you can actually do this from a lot of defenses in this game, but if you're running like a cover 3 defense, you want to make sure that you never have your safety in a seam flat like this, because you can basically just get beat up the seam very easily if they just put Travis Hunter on a shriek route, right? You see how Travis Hunter was going to be open right there. Even if you put like a hard flat on the field, boom, you have on your hard flat on the field like this is your defense. Well, now it's going to be even easier for them to just hike throw that seam pass and score. So you always want to defend the seam. A lot of blitzes in this game, they're great blitzes, but if you don't defend the seam, it's going to be really tough for you to play defense. So we put Harrison Smith out here on his deep half. Then we have our cloud flat out here on the outside guy. But the reality is now, if they go to just hike throw this same seam pass, Harrison Smith is right there to break that pass up. So obviously we're talking about a blitz here, but it's like you have to make sure that you have the right coverage behind the blitz to really make sure that they can't just throw something quickly before the blitz gets home. But again, we're going to shift our defensive line to the left here to create the overload, and then we're going to stand over top of this center right here, press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, and now to user lock, to lock our user into place. So now that when we run down immediately off the snap, we're not going to get called for offsides, but also we're just going to be able to sack the quarterback. So again, you see how this time he just dumbs out again, lets me come in free. So again, I walk in the backfield. This time we're going to have them kind of block their running back here. They're going to be in base protection, and we're going to set up the same way. Stand in the spot, shift the D-line, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, boom, take it. And now you see how the running back steps up to block me. And again, if the running back steps up to block you, you're spamming A to get off the block as quickly as possible, right? So again, boom, running back. If I'm spamming A, the faster you spam A, the faster you're going to be able to get back into coverage, but you're also able to see how great of a job we're able to actually do in coverage. Let me see if I can actually get his attention right here. That's kind of the whole point. And oh, he just dumped out again. So it's like, I'm actually showing you, you're not actually just supposed to be able to walk in free like this every time, but like the reality is maybe 35-40% of the time you will, which is really high. And if that's the case, like you have the 4-on-3 advantage. 1, 2, 3, center slides over to block him, and then he lets me come in free, and I just go get the quarterback, right? So I mean, it's you just have an extra guy at that point, but you would also want to also drop him out into a zone just because you don't need him. So the reality here, you can, like I said, do this from a lot of different defenses in this game, but as long as you press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down to really make sure that you're getting the attention of the center, and then you spam A to get off the block if he does block you, but if he doesn't, you just go sack the quarterback. But that's a trick to go get instant sacks every single play. Alright, so next I want to break down a secret offensive trick here in Madden 26 that the top players are using that's going to make it so easy to pass the ball. Let me show you. Alright, so as we know, the most common defenses that you're going to play against here, although you play against dime from time to time, but it's going to be a lot of nickel defenses just like this, alright? And nickel defenses, as we know, are only going to have one slot corner on the field. It's going to be this guy right here, here in this seam flat. He's going to be their slot corner. But what happens, since they only have one slot corner, when you flip your play, a lot of the time the slot corner is not going to follow. So now you're matched up against their weaker side, especially when they call like a cover 3 cloud. Well, now this is going to be a safety at that nickel spot, which safety could still play nickel, but it's like you're taking advantage of their alignment now in defense simply because you've now flipped your play, and you know their nickel corner is not going to be on the same side as your guy. So again, right here, they're actually going to just be in man coverage right here, so it's going to be pretty easy for us. The tight end's going to be cross man, no one's going to be on him, and we turn that into easy yards. So the reality here is that when you just flip your play, it's very simple. Like right here, we're just going to flip our play because their slot corner is on the wrong side. They actually, I mean, I don't even know if they do have. I think they might actually be in, oh, I call it a random play. So they're not actually not in, they don't have a slot. So every defense isn't going to have a slot corner. But it's like when you actually do play against them, like I said, when they're in a nickel defense, you're just going to be able to take advantage of that. Because again, what if they set up a defense like, you know, this, where they're in a cover 3 cloud defense, boom, just like this. Okay, well now we have a cover 3 on one side, but then we have a cover 2 on the other side, right? So if you just flip your play and they don't flip with you, well now you know that you're playing against their cover 2 side. And so now you can just call a route concept like this and be ready to hit your, you know, corner route on that deep sideline, or just throw your out route right in front of their zone, force them to pick their poison, right? And that also opens up more big plays over the top, right? Because again, we're going to go put them in like a cover 3 defense, but then we're going to put cover 2 on the other side, which cover 3 cloud is a really common type of defense. Well, now you can start to use a lot more slot fades on them. So flip, if they don't flip with you, right, their slot corner doesn't follow, well now you know you have an opportunity to just hit them with slot fades, you know, all over the field. So again, boom, take the snap, we have time to throw, and you see how Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be open over the top once he runs over the top of that cloud flat. This would never be a possibility, never be an open pass, you know, if we weren't, like if we were playing against cover 3 on that side. But since they have cover 2, that route potentially has the opportunity to get open. So it's like, what I'm telling you here, this is a dime defense. So now when you flip, right, they have 2 slot corners, so they can really just adjust their defense. But still, you're slowing them down, right? Let's just say that you came out like this, they set up their defense because they want basically a cover 3, you know, on the, you know, bunch side. So they set it up just like this. Well, now again, when you flip your play, they have the defense on the wrong side. Right now you're playing it because maybe they might put a hard fly on the weak side now, and then now you just hit them with, again, the slot fade concept, where you're just going to easily be able to take advantage of them down the sideline, which, again, that wouldn't be open if you're on the cover 3 side, the side that they originally adjusted to. So you're just going to make it super annoying to play defense against you when you're just flipping your formation. And you can do this for bunch, tight, you know, any formation really, but it's like it's best for bunch and tight formations because it's not guaranteed that it's going to work every time. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of the time you're going to be able to catch them off guard, catch them in cover 2 defenses when they don't really want to be, and then you're just going to be reaping the benefits with guys running wide open because they're not able to get all their adjustments off. Alright, so if you found those first 2 glitchy tricks helpful here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day to help you guys get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my free Saints offensive ebook, which is a full written breakdown with videos and screenshots to guide you, comment the word free down below. I'll send it over. Again, you can save it on your phone, and it's always going to be yours forever. So I highly recommend you check it out. Comment the word free down below, and let's jump right back into the video. Because next I want to break down a trick that's going to turn your man coverage lockdown here in Madden 26. Let me show you. Alright, so as we know, when you run man coverage, you have the ability to shade inside or outside, right? So we know that's a thing. So right here, we're going to shade inside. But the problem that can get created, right, is if you shade inside and they run outside, just like this. You're giving that receiver a ton of cushion, a ton of separation to be able to get open on that outside breaking route. So again, we look at the instant replay, how like I'm running lined up right over him, shaded, and then boom, he runs an out route. Again, if he were to run like a in route, like maybe like a slant route, right? So we put him on a slant, maybe you put him on something like this. So if he runs a slant and I shade inside, like all the way inside, well, now I should do a better job of guarding this, right? I have body positioning, like he's doing a good job there. Now he still catches it and turns it into a big gain. So that's part of what makes man coverage not the greatest thing in the world. But it's like, if you have a better corner there, he'll probably do a better job of guarding that. He did do a better job than obviously defending the out route because he's lined up inside of the guy. But really what you're going to do to make your man coverage as good as possible is start using the route commit. So what I mean by that is, now what you're going to do is you can either shade inside or outside. It doesn't really matter, but the key is doing the opposite route commit of where you're shaded. So what I mean by that is, if you're shaded outside like this, you're going to press Y, A, B, or click onto the receiver, which in this case is B, and then you're going to route commit inside, just like this. So I'm shaded outside, which means they're probably going to try to call an in-breaking route, because obviously they wouldn't call an out-breaking route if I'm shaded outside. So now they're going to call their same slant route, but now I'm telling my guy, hey, they're running an in-breaking route, and he's there to, knock the pass away along with our three-rat cook defender if you have that on the field. So that's what's really going to take your defense to the next level here. Right, you have take your man coverage to the next level, where instead of last time where he just got cooked on this route because he doesn't have the right body position, now he's going to actually, you're telling him, hey, I think he's running an in-breaking route, go get there, and you see how he's, pretty tight in man coverage to be able to lock that down. Now, we could do the opposite, right? We could shade inside and then press Y, A, B, and route commit outside, right? And so now I believe he's going to do a better job of guarding this out-breaking route. Yes, he is. That's much tighter coverage, and you see he's able to knock that pass away. Right, so that's really what's going to make your man coverage better, is actually utilizing the route commit feature. So again, we are shaded inside and we're route committing outside, which means now when he runs this speed out, I'm telling him, hey, even though you're shaded inside, we still think he's running an out-breaking route, and that's what's going to allow him to play that really great defense. So it's almost like you're tricking the offense into going the other way, because they would think, hey, if he's shaded all the way inside, great, a speed out route. This looks beautiful. This is how, if you're playing in franchise, or you're playing mud, this is how guys are locking you down in man coverage, because they're tricking you into doing exactly kind of what they want you to do here. Now, you can do this on every single defensive player, right? Every guy that's in man coverage, I would recommend you route commit him if you have time to do it before the snap. So I would shade my entire defense inside maybe, then route commit all these guys outside, right? Boom, 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 and then route commit all these guys outside, because really you're most likely gonna not play against a whole lot of players who want to run in-breaking routes against inside shade. So now, like for example, they're gonna call an out route, they're gonna call put him on a streak, and then we'll have a corner route. You're gonna notice how all three of these man-beating routes are gonna do a great job of being guarded. Like, look at that corner route. Travis Hunter, that route's basically being ran for him by the slot corner. Same thing with the speed out, and then the same thing with the out route on the other side, where it's like, okay, cool, corner route, bagged. Speed out, he's in his hip. Same thing on the other side. Other speed out, we're over here to guard that. So it's like, you're just going to make your man coverage better and make these catches more contested, simply because you're going to be playing tighter man coverage. So again, Y, A, click onto whatever receiver it is, and then route commit the opposite way that you're shaded, because you're going to trick the offense into going that way, and then you're already going to tell your man, hey, we think he's running inside or outside, and then he's going to be locking it down. So that's how you're going to make your man coverage better in Madden 26, using the route commit. Alright, before I jump to those final two secret tricks that you're absolutely not going to want to miss here in Madden 26, I wanted to remind you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I'm the only one right now still breaking down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day here on YouTube, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. Subscribing is literally free, so go down below, hit it today, and let's jump into those final two tips. Which that next one is going to be how you're going to stop allowing one-play touchdowns all game. Let me show you a secret that not enough players know about. Alright, so we're going to talk about how you can stop allowing so many one-play touchdowns, alright? So really, it's going to be running hybrid coverages. As you can see right here, this is going to be a stock cover 3 defense, okay? It's cover 3 sky, we have hard flats, whatever it is, right? Where we just have, an outside third, 2 outside thirds, and then a middle third. Really, this is really easy to bomb. A lot of players, every offense has the ability to bomb. All you have to do is put a corner out here, move the outside third down, and then that man's going to be running wide open over the top for a huge gain. Now, having safeties with deep out zone knockouts is going to make that, you know, a little bit easier for you on defense. But for the most part, like, this is just a wide open pass down the field against most safeties in this game because, again, you move this outside third down towards the sideline. This is why you keep giving up one-play touchdowns. What they're doing is they're using comeback routes, corner routes, right? These type of routes that are going to pull and glitch out your outside third, you know, hold him down, and then have a guy in like an S post running over the top for a huge gain. Now, again, if Harrison Smith doesn't recover here, all of this room is back here because this man isn't getting back there to guard that. So what you're going to do instead is start using actually a cover, you know, 3 cloud type of defense, where now instead of that safety right here, this guy being in a, you know, curl flat, now you're going to see how when we audible to cover 3 cloud, we're going to have a different defense here on the field. So what you're going to see right here is I would actually flip this play to make sure that you always want to make sure your cover 2 side is on the side where you're, you know, trying not to get bombed on. So what I mean by that is they're calling their bomb to the left side here. So I want my deep half in the cover 3 cloud, because cover 3 cloud is cover 2 on this side, right? Deep half, cloud flat, cover 3 on this side. Outside third, curl flat, right? So it's hybrid. So now what's going to happen is this deep half isn't going to be affected in the same type of way. It'll still be affected, but not in the same way that the other, you know, zone would. You see how Harrison Smith is backpedaling still to defend the corner out instead of like coming down and getting sucked down. So now when they throw this S post over the top, right, you see the S post running. Well, now he's just going to run right into this zone because instead on the last play, the outside third was being moved towards the sideline, right, and he was coming down. Harrison Smith backpedaling still, and so again, when they go to throw this pass, he'll already be in that area. So we're going to go with it again right here. I'm actually going to spy off the pass rush this time to make sure that we do have, you know, some more time. But again, make sure if you have to flip your play, that's fine. Just make sure you have your cover 2 over here on the side that they're attacking, because if you don't, it'll be the same thing, same result as when you're just running regular cover 3. But this time I'll spy off the pass rush so we can see how Harrison Smith is going to guard this differently than like an outside third would. So now we're going to see it here where this deep half is going to do a much better job of actually getting back there and trying to defend this S post as it's running over the top. You see how they're going to backpedal here, and then now when I go to throw it, he's actually back there because he's actually in a deep half. He's not getting sucked down, so you can't just like lob the pass over the top for an easy score. So we look at the replay right here. They have all day where he's still running backwards and he still is able to get back here and recover and actually guard that. Also, running a cover 3 cloud defense allows you to switch stick, because if they throw it earlier, they might be able to complete it for a gain, not a touchdown. But it's like if you actually switch stick now that you have your safety in this zone, right, it's going to make it a whole lot easier for you to guard, because now, again, boom, take the snap, and now we're going to see it. Oh, wait, they have it open. I'm going to switch stick here, and now I'm back here to guard this, right? And you would probably still want to play in between the corner route and the deep route, but the priority when they have a bomb like that is to get back there and take it away. Force them to hit their corner route, you know, instead of hitting their S post. So you see it again right here where I'm in this cover 3 cloud. I get this guy back here backpedaling. We're going to take this away, and we're going to have that, you know, take that away for an interception, or just allow them to hit something else instead of scoring the touchdown. So the reality here, what I'm telling you, is instead of just calling regular cover 3, start calling hybrid defenses where you can at least have a deep half on the field, which is going to be much less, you know, bomb ready. Like, it's not going to get bombed as much, and you're going to actually be able to defend these cover 3 beaters, which honestly aren't that hard to set up. All they need is a corner out, but your deep half is going to play that differently and stop getting bombed. Alright, and that last glitchy trick that I want to break down here in Madden 26 is actually going to be a glitch route that's going to make it super easy for you to score big gains down the field. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so that route that I'm going to be breaking down here is going to be the slot fade. So what I want you to pay attention to is technically Brian Thomas Jr. right here, the wide receiver. He's on a slot fade route. But I'm talking about the hot routed slot fade, because if I put Travis Hunter like this on a slot fade, and then I smart route the slot fade, now it runs differently, okay? What I would also recommend you do is custom stem it up twice like this, because this is going to be super effective against cover 2 defenses and pressed man-to-man coverage. So what you're going to see right here is Travis Hunter on this slot fade, and then Brian Thomas Jr. on his slot fade. Now we're going to see, I would recommend you still set up a route concept behind it, so maybe a crosser and a drag, but this slot fade to to Travis Hunter is going to do a great job of getting behind these man coverage defenders and scoring big plays over the top. Now, this is a longer developing play. You see how number 72 here does a horrible job in pass protection, so we don't have time, but it's like the further that route runs up the field, the more separation it's going to create, which is why I tell you guys, hey, you still need to make sure that you have, a drag route on the field in case you do get shedded, so that you actually still have someone to be able to hit here. But again, slot fade that guy, smart route him, and then custom stem it up twice with the D-pad, just like this. And so now this is what your route concept looks like. So now when you go to take the snap, you're just going to be able to lob that pass to the corner of the end zone, and he's going to do a great job of just getting behind that DB. Now, luckily, or for them, I guess, but unfortunately for us, it's like your quarterback sails it. So it's like having a quarterback with accuracy. And also, I didn't step all the way up. I could have stepped all the way up here in the pocket, but you just notice how right here, when he starts, so he beats his press, cool. He gets separation, but really when he bends this route off towards the sideline is when he starts to get even more separation and really get behind that guy for an easy pass lead. So again, it's like you're going to need time to throw with this, right? There's no secret to that. This is a longer developing play, but it's like now you play against press man-to-man coverage, and this time I'm going to step all the way up in the pocket. Now you're going to have just an easy gain over the top. Obviously you want to have guys that are fast. That's going to help you, but it's like, boom, I'm going to step all the way up right here, and now when I go to lob that pass over the top, that one, ooh, is that one good? We should be able to get that, and then we're able to possession catch it in the end zone. That's also why being further back from the end zone is really important here. I'm about like 50 yards away, so like if I would only call this from like behind like the 35, because you lob the ball in the air and it's like you kind of just run out of room right here, where it's like he's clearly open. It's just Trevor Lawrence kind of ran out of room to throw the ball. So that's another thing here, is like when you're calling this, also make sure that you have plenty of room. But you're seeing how easy he's able to just get behind that DB, for an easy score. But I also mentioned that it's great against cover 2, because now what you're going to do is you don't have to custom stem it up twice. All you need to do if you're playing against cover 2, just put your tight end on a shriek and now put him on a slot fade. Because now what you're going to notice is that slot fade is going to pull that deep half towards the sideline and then open up room for you to just be able to hit that shriek route right in the middle. So we go with it again right here where we have our slot fade. Right now we're going to just smart route it just like this, and now we're going to take this snap, and we're also just going to have that pass right there to our tight end. If you're on the short side, like I'll respot the ball here, there also will be times where you can just throw the slot fade on the sideline, especially if they're in like cover 2 hard flat. So again, we put them in Tampa 2. They're going to have hard flats in the field. Now we just call it like this again. And so sometimes you don't even have to smart route it. Sometimes you can just call it like this, and you see how you can just throw that, right? Especially if your tight end, creates separation in the middle. So it's like, I would say typically most of the time against cover 2, you're really just trying to get this, slot fade to move the deep half towards the sideline, and then do that right there. Open up room for you just to be able to hit that route in the middle. But bottom line here, this slot fade route is going to be super effective whether you call it stock like Brian Thomas Jr. or you hot route your guy to a slot fade, because you're going to be able to beat press man-to-man coverage over the top and annihilate cover 2 on the sideline and in the middle. Alright, so if you found those 5 glitchy tricks helpful here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm the only one still breaking down Madden 26 tips and tricks just like this every single day to help you guys get better so that you're prepared going into 27. So I'm really the best channel to watch and take information from. But if you want my free, again, Saints offensive ebook, comment the word free down below in the comments. I'll send it over to you. It's a full written breakdown that you can save on your phone and always reference during gameplay. So I highly recommend you check it out. But if you want to see the defense that pairs perfectly with that Saints offense, check out this video right here where I break down my Vikings defense. I'll see you over there. Peace.